Hi and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to bake some egg white breads and I will use these different tins. So these are kind of sausage rolls and some burgers and some of the bigger breads. And I had some egg whites in my freezer, so I just thawed them out and they are ready to go now. I will make 2 double portions and I'm using this recipe for the bread. It's from Indigo and I will link it down below. I'm using 600 grams of egg whites, fresh egg whites, instead of using water, and then I'll use a little less egg white powder in this recipe. And these are some of the ingredients that I'm going to use. The acacia fiber I will only use in the buns and not in the bigger breads. But before I get started, I'll just make myself a cup of coffee and I just heated up a little milk in the microwave. And now I'm going to use one of these Nespressos to make my coffee. And this is with vanilla. And before I start up the batter, I will just get my tins ready and I will preheat my oven so that it's ready to go in. And it's the easiest way to get your baking paper or parchment paper to fit in the tin is just to curl it up and then put it in. And as you saw before, I already had my 600 grams of egg whites, fresh egg whites, in my mixing bowl, and now I'm putting in some gelatin. And after the egg whites are beaten, I put in some egg yolk powder and some shredded frozen butter. And right now I'm just showing you how I shredded all that butter. The recipe calls for 1 stick of butter, and I made a double batch, so that would have been a whole cup of butter. But I'm also only using about 100 grams for a double recipe. But I'm shredding up 2 of these packets with 200 grams in each, and then I'll just put it in the freezer and I can use it another day. And now I'm ready to put my batter into my 2 big loaf tins, and this double recipe fits exactly these 2 tins. And then I'll just get them in the oven at 325 Fahrenheit, I think. It's about 165 Celsius. And I will let them bake for about 30 to 45 minutes. And I'll just check on them and to see how dark they will get. And for the buns, I'm using almost the exact same recipe. There's just a few add-ins. I will put in some dry yeast, some more gelatin powder, and the acacia fiber. This will get the buns to be a little more dense. The bigger brands are a lot more fluffy. But we'll see how this will be, because I just watched another video from Indigo Neely and where she talked about why she put in these 2 things. And as mentioned before, I will link it down below. This is her website. And before I start up the next batch, I will clean this bowl out and dry it really well. That's necessary if you wanna get your egg whites to be beaten. And these are the 2 loaves that's in the oven, and they are looking very good. So now I'm starting up with the next batch of buns and sausage rolls, or whatever you call them. So I'll just put in my dry yeast on top of the egg whites, and then I will go on with the gelatin powder and so on. and I will be mixing my acacia fiber with my homemade egg yolk powder, and that's because it's a little greasy still, because it's not freeze dried, it's just dried in a dehydrator, so this way I can mush it out. And these are the 2 first loaves, and they look really good, and they also taste really good. It's almost like a normal loaf of bread. So now it mixed up the second batch, and I'll just put these egg yolks and the acacia fiber on, and then my shredded butter, and I will mix it once more. And I just sprayed these tins beforehand, and then I'm dividing up the batter into all of these and put them in the oven. And I'm just baking all 3 racks at the same time. And I only baked them for about 20 to 25 minutes, so they were really fast finished, and they have a nice color on them. Doesn't it just sound absolutely amazing and look so good? It's just like any other type of bread. It doesn't even look like egg whites. Now I'm going to have a taste test, and I just put on a little butter, and it's just really, really good. Even though my taste bud still doesn't work as well because of my cold, but I know just how good it is, and the texture is so nice. You could just see all of the air bubbles, and it doesn't taste eggy at all. And yeah, I would really recommend you to try this recipe. It's so good. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you want to subscribe and follow along for some other videos. I don't have an Instagram for this channel, as I mentioned in the last video, but I have one for my Vestas Farm Life channel, and you're welcome to follow along on that Instagram page as well. Bye bye.